Hey, we're Saints Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional Lifestream. Glad to have all of you lovely, beautiful people with us today. I talked yesterday about some just dissonance that I was feeling and, just the stuff of life and all the pressures that we feel. And some of you responded with such really an outpouring of love and encouragement. I appreciate you. That means a lot to me because I try to be an encouragement to others as often as I can. And it's nice when someone does it for you. So I love it. I'll take it. Forgive if I misled. My life is fabulous, so don't misunderstand. I mean, I'm going through, the normal struggles of life. But there are those times where it just doesn't feel right because somehow you're off. And like I told you, I mean, I just wasn't taking good care of my health, and I wasn't spending the time I needed to really study and prepare so that I could teach. I got lost in kind of mundane details. My prayer life was faltering, all that kind of stuff. And it leads to a place where you're uncomfortable, where there is that I used the word yesterday, dissonance. I mean, it just doesn't feel right. So again, I appreciate you and all of your love, but as I said, I built this plan and I started to implement it, and I did it again today. So today I was up at 5:11 a.m. That's when I got out of bed, and which is early for some of us, right? I mean, it's like, but at 5 a.m., there's nobody in the world's awake. Not even on the East Coast. Not that I would call anyone on the East Coast, but you get my point. Nobody's awake. And so, poured my cup of coffee, and I went and sat on my patio. Now, it was black, dark outside. I mean, there was no sunlight. The birds weren't even up, right? I have a lot of birds in my yard, and there was no, it was just still, it was quiet. And I thought, wow, this was a great start to the day because I had deliberately eliminated noise, right? And I did not have my cell phone with me. And sitting there on my couch in the darkness of the 5 a.m. morning, I said my prayers. And after about whatever it was, however long it took me those few minutes to say my prayers, I then started to read the Bible for another 20 minutes. It actually turned out to be a little bit more. I've been studying Ezekiel, and he's dense, so it took a little longer, maybe 30 minutes of reading scripture. And then I went and did my exercise, and I worked out like a banshee. I mean, it was a good one today. And it got the blood flowing. And I thought about it. Now I'm following this plan. I call it something like dealing with the 5 a.m. Getting up and doing things at 5 a.m. There's a great book called The 5 a.m. Club by a guy named Robin Sharma, and he talks about winners do this stuff at 5 a.m. All of that to say, as I started implementing this plan in my own life, by getting up early, I've already done three of the most important things to help get everything in track. I prayed, so I got trying to get my mind right with God. I read scripture. I was learning. That also deals with my work, right? The fourth part of our work, because I work in scripture. That's what I teach. And I did some health, right? Exercise. I mean, and this day started great. And no matter what happens the rest of this day, whatever chaos is going to come in, and you know that it always does, the big three are done: my prayer, my scripture, and my exercise. So that cannot be taken away from me. And I thought about that. I'm like, you know what? Share that with the warrior saints. Because maybe it's one of those things that you too struggle with, where like you say, well, I'm going to work out when I get home, but then at the end of the day you're so tired you skip it. Or I'm going to say my prayers and read the Bible, and then something pops on Netflix, or there's chaos with your kids or with your parents, or dinner's late, or other things that pop up, and on it goes. And it doesn't get done. And so my thought about all of this was like, wow, I mean, this plan actually may have some merit to it because, like I say, the big rocks are done. You know that story about putting the rocks in the jar and then the little rocks and then the sand and then the water? Like, you got to put the big stuff in first. I tend, or have tended to in my whole life, to put the big stuff in later. I'll get to it. But in the last couple of days, I've been doing it first. So I encourage that to you. Encourage you to do the same, I should say it like that. So that when we start to face the chaos that's coming, we're a little bit more prepared, at least centered, that we know that we're not going to miss the big things. Anyways, all of that to say, I just wanted to throw it at you. Again, I thank you all for your beautiful concern. I appreciate you. Even someone said to me, Father Chris, we need to have a cigar. If you're watching, yes, we do. Let's make it happen, baby. Yeah, I would love that. A cigar and a conversation would be fabulous. Anyways, I'm done rambling. But I do want to say this to you. I'm going to keep plugging along on this little battle plan that I've developed. We're all, as I said yesterday, we've got a war going on within. We're trying to be the best that we can with our minds, getting our minds right, getting our relationship to God right, getting our relationship to other people right, getting our physical health right, our work life, and our service to others right. And when some of those parts are in line, you feel pretty good. But when you get all 6 of those parts moving in the right direction, I'm telling you, you are a force to be reckoned with. You're looking to have an exceptional life. And that's that battle plan. I'm writing it, we're designing it, we're teaching it, and it's coming. If you want it, you can join us. All right, done for the day. Love you. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.